I thought you told me Space Jam that you like the rabbit. You're saying you like the rabbit from Space Jam.
Well, yes, I do. I do like Lola Bunny, but
You wouldn't like want to have sex with Lola Bunny.
no, I would not.
Okay. Say you and Lola were at a bar. She was drunk, you know? Would you do anything to her? Would you try to take advantage of her, even though
I'd
you guys are
escort her home.
friends? You don't know?
I know I'd escort her home.
Oh, you'd escort Lola Rabbit home.
And then,
Do what?
Well, I'd lay her in bed, leave.
Oh, you'd lie her in bed?
I'm sure she doesn't want to fall asleep on the floor.
Maybe she doesn't want to sleep alone tonight.
Kindly refuse.
Maybe she got drunk for a reason.
maybe she said no, but what she really meant was yes. What do you think about that?
I believe that whenever somebody says no, they mean no.
20 years, you're thinking maybe you made a mistake. You know, maybe you should have done something with Lola Rabbit.
See where it went? What could have been?
I would not regret that. I hold my morals to a higher standpoint than that.
I'm looking at your groups. One of the groups you're in, it says the Yif and Snuff Den. Are you aware of what that group contains? And
Yeah, it's I'm not actually into that stuff. It's more of a I have friends that hang out there, so I join the group so I can do stuff.
use them, abuse them, and then string them up. So come on over today and have fun. Hanging, noose, snuff, death, Yif, furry, gay.
Yeah, I know exactly what snuff is about. I'm just not into it.
Oh, okay. Well, you're part of the group. You kind of like co-sign with them.
Yeah, I understand that. It's like I said, it's more that I have friends that hang out there. I'm not interested.
Okay. Can I ask which facet of your identity is dominant, animal or human?
Kind of a tough question there. Logically human, because obviously I would have to communicate. That being said, instinctually, I can react very animalistically, can be very feral. Considering that I've got part Native American blood in me, I channel whatever whatever reaction is appropriate and necessary.
You say Native Americans are animals?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that Native Americans are very in tune with nature and thus can adopt anything from nature, whether that be an animal or a plant.
Dennis Avner is a 44-year-old Native American man who goes by the name Catman. Or to his friends, just plain Cat. Cat's life dream is to transform himself into a tiger, and he's well on the way.
I've been a cat my entire life. I've always related to cats. I've always had a close relationship with cats. I can walk into somebody's house who has cats and go right up to their cats and we're instant friends. But that also works with wild cats, tigers, other animals. I have a very strong instant relationship with them.
Cat began transforming himself 25 years ago. First with tattoos, then with surgery.
The first modification I did, we started with the ears some time ago. They've actually been done 3 times, 3 different procedures to get to this point. The teeth were going to be done as caps, but they ended up having to be done as dentures because my teeth were in pretty bad shape. And we did the implant in here and the bridge of my nose to change the profile to make it more cat-like. And along with that, we cleft the lip to make it more cat-like. There's been silicone injected in my upper lip, in my cheeks, and in my chin to change the shape of my face a little more. I had to get that done in Mexico because that's can't legally do that in the United States.
Cat has a well-paying job as a computer technician. Most of what he earns, he spends on becoming more tiger-like.
Well, it's an interesting concept, Transpecies. It's sort of like taking transsexualism to one additional degree, really. It's a novel idea. Most people haven't thought about it. It certainly hasn't come into our diagnostic and statistical manual, so it's not a recognized condition, for example.
Many traditional cultures imitate animals, especially animals they believe are crucial to their survival. Temporarily transforming themselves with masks and makeup, they stage elaborate ceremonies to honor animals they hold sacred. But experts say no one has ever gone as far as Kat.
In indigenous cultures, there would never be a person who would completely take on the persona of an animal and live this animal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is something that is a new thing, and I think it has a lot to do with the distance of Western cultures from nature, and it's a way to bring nature into our lives.
As a Native American, Kat's tribes are Lakota and Huron, and his totem animal is the cat. Over 20 years ago, he began the process of transforming himself into a tiger, trying to become more like his totem.
I'm following a very old Huron tradition that isn't done often anymore. Many years ago, my people would take and transform themselves in various manners with masks or with very crude surgeries or with costuming, get closer to the appearance of their totems.
Today we're going to do 6 transdermal implants in Kat's forehead for the purpose of connecting what will look like whiskers. Cats also have eyebrow whiskers, kind of like their facial whiskers. And we're doing a set of eyebrow whiskers on Kat to help him achieve even more of that cat-like effect. Kat would not have been able to go to a surgeon in the US to get the work that he has. If a surgeon were to actually perform the kind of work that I perform, they would lose their license because the American Medical Association says that modifying the body away from what society considers normal is unethical.
Well, if somebody walked into a plastic surgeon's office with a picture of a tiger and said that I wanted to be like a tiger, I would be somewhat concerned about that. I would want to screen that individual first to see whether there are any recognized psychiatric conditions that might lead to that person having a bad outcome with surgery. They may feel that they've been damaged. They may not have attained their idealized vision of beauty, for example. They can be so upset that they may come back and sue their surgeon, or there have been a number of cases of people coming back enraged, really, to the point where they've shot their surgeons. He was incredibly frustrated when I first met him that he was not able to progress in the way that he wanted to progress with his modifications. He was very introverted, very withdrawn, and over the years, as we've proceeded to bring his modifications along, he has become more and more well-rounded and balanced.
I would like to have fur. Whenever it becomes possible, I want to do regular fur, conventional tiger fur, but I don't know when that's going to happen. There's actually a fair amount of people working on it, biological engineers, geneticists, but no progress as yet.
He talks about the fur. I haven't talked to him about the fur. That's not my area of expertise, so I really don't know anything about it.
It would be an implant procedure, I'm sure, but or a grafting procedure, but it's a matter of finding something that can be genetically matched and that will work.
I don't see how it could. Not real fur. Not any kind of a living, growing fur.
I have a animatronic tail. It's a belt-on tail that is as close as I can come to a tail right now.
Kat's bionic tail is covered in fun fur and powered by 4 AA batteries. He makes it move by a simple handheld control panel.
A friend of mine, Wolftail, developed this. It'll raise up for going up and down stairs or for a raised tail situation and lay straight. It has 2 different speeds and 2 different positions it'll run and fully programmable.
Cat's tail was built by an electrical engineer in Indianapolis who goes by the name Wolftail, or just Wolf for short.
The next logical step was to build an animatronic wolf head.
After he built himself a head and tail, Wolf realized he needed one last thing to complete his transformation from man to wolf. He needed a fursuit.
The next one will be a lot more realistic than this one, yeah. I can't howl pretty good. Other neighbors are gonna kill me though. There's a dog that they'll blame it on that lives over there. I don't travel in a pack, but I've heard that there are other packs in, around the United States and stuff, but there's not really that many in Indiana, if any.
The number one place furries hang out is cyberspace. The internet has spawned the development of a furry community.
I would not have found the community without it. I would not have the friends, the lifelong friends that I have right now without it. I can't imagine the furry community before the internet. I hang out in a chat room called Fursuit. It's a fursuit chat room. So this is my lifeline here. This is all my buddies. Mentally, on the inside of my head, I do live life as a tiger. But I also know when to turn it on and turn it off as far as showing it off to the world. Okay, here we go. And now I'm a tiger. Sometimes if I feel like being silly, I'll put on my tiger suit and go run around downtown in the shopping district just to get reactions from people. There's a rule when you're wearing costumes, you don't talk. So I have to show off my emotions by big gestures. So I get to act like a tiger. I can't talk because tigers don't talk.
I'm gonna cry myself to sleep.
And mentally, I begin to feel like I'm taking on the role or the persona of a tiger. I've never seen a tiger in a natural environment. My contact with tigers has been 100% in zoos and circuses.
Wow, what I've been waiting for all day.
I'm extremely careful with the people I pick. Mostly older women.
Belly whopping time.
Not all animal imitators feel the need to transform their bodies. Some just accept they're an animal trapped inside a human skin.
I feel that I'm a coyote who, for whatever reason, has been born in a human body to live a human life.
John Osborne has legally changed his name to Coyote Osborne. He believes he's a weird coyote, a creature with the body of a human, but the spirit of a coyote.
Unless I'm completely delusional, I have recollections of having lived as a coyote, as having lived as an animal many times.
Well, where basically means that it is an animal-human connection, but it's not something that is, it's looked upon something as something that's fearful. It's not something that is appropriate because it's as though that person has crossed the line. A were-coyote is not someone that you'd want to be around. Masks would be used for special ceremonies, and when you put on a mask, you're taking on the persona of whatever it is that you're impersonating, and that spirit comes into you as a person, and so it would be done for a very specific ceremonial purpose.
When I'm using it spiritually, or at a dance or a festival or something like that, I would say yes, I do feel different with it on. So I probably look quite foolish, but I've never been that concerned.
Coyote wanted to express his inner animal without undergoing surgery, so he picked up a pencil and started to draw.
I think at least for wares, the reason the drawing is a big thing, because it's not like you can go and take a photograph of an anthropomorphic were creature, because there aren't any that look like this. So I think people use drawing because they want to say, this is what I feel like I am inside. This is what I would look like if I were really me. It's always weird for me somehow when I look in the mirror, I see this primate. And there's nothing wrong with primates except that I'm not one. I think that if there were any type of medical operation that could really realistically make me have animal traits, I would do that. But as it stands now, it seems to me like it's purely cosmetic. I'm not going to grow fur. I'm not going to have the muscles or reflexes or probably even many of the instincts that an animal would have.
Eric Sprague's in the process of covering his body in green scales. So far, the tattooing's taken over 700 hours. But that's just the start.
I've had subdermal implants placed on my skull above each eye, 5 pieces of Teflon. My teeth filed down to sharpened points. And of course, my tongue split.
Eric may have decided he wants to look like a lizard, but he's very careful to point out he doesn't think he's a lizard.
I don't think about myself.
But as the 21st century arrived, so did a new kind of freak, the self-inflicted freak. And the sideshow was back in business.
I'm a freak, not an illusionist. Everything I do is real.
And Eric is a very intellectual young man who has a master's in philosophy, and he made a very intellectual decision in school to move into sideshow arts.
But he's not any rough American or anything.
The show's finale is an extreme stunt involving a small snake Eric puts up his nose.
Most of the time, the #1 priority is to entertain. And to hopefully entertain in such a way that it might be thought-provoking, but I will settle for a simple, yeah, I had a good time.
They came out really well. They feel good. They actually work. I can feel them. I could actually walk around in the dark and make sure I didn't bump my head against anything. They do actually work the way that whiskers work.
Cat's happy with his new eyebrows, but he's far from ready to declare himself transformed into a tiger.
Well, I'm still looking for somebody who can do fur. I'm still looking for somebody who can do other portions of my transformation. I'm never going to stop looking.
32-year-old Tom works as a sound and lighting technician for a local theatre. But after a long day at the office, this is where he likes to sleep.
I can actually fit in quite successfully. And to be honest with you, from there on in, uncomfortable. I'm a Dalmatian. They want to be on the go all the time. They're an active animal. Do theatre work, so I sort of hide in the dark, do the sound and the lights and that kind of thing. I don't want to be seen at work. I don't want to be seen in the public eye, but as my pup life, I want to be the centre of attention.
Oh yeah, the movie's shit.